Hi, everyone. David Aragona and Mike Beer here taking a look at some Kentucky Derby contenders. And speaking of that big race on the first Saturday in May, the Derby is right around the corner. So you want to make your handicapping plan for Derby weekend. Check out our Kentucky Derby packages. You can save up to 39% when you buy your PPs, along with betting strategies, the player's guide, clock reports from Mike Welsh and his team. Go to shop.drf.com to learn more about our Kentucky Derby past performance packages. Well, Mike, let's check out Kentucky Derby contender Admire Daytona. And this has become a yearly exercise. We have to do some digging into the Japanese forms. It seems like horses are coming over from Japan just about every year now for the Kentucky Derby. And Admire Daytona was able to qualify for the Derby through the new European/Middle Eastern route to the Derby. The major qualifier in that route is the UAE Derby, and he did win that race in early April. And he has plenty of experience over in Japan facing large fields, so I don't think the 20-horse cavalry charge of the Kentucky Derby is going to phase this horse too much.
Yeah, agreed. He does have experience racing with a bunch of horses surrounding him. Listen, I guess on the way over, David, he's maybe not the number one contender coming over from Japan with Luxor Cafe also coming over. But based on their two prior meetings, he's probably not that far off that horse.
Yeah, they've met twice, as you noted. The most recent of those was in the Hyacinth Stakes, where Luxor Cafe easily defeated Admire Daytona. Admire Daytona was fourth in that spot after a less than ideal start, but they met during the two-year-old season back in November at Tokyo. That was a one-turn mile. And Mike, I watched the replay of that race. This horse gave Luxor Cafe all that he could handle on that occasion.
Yeah, exactly. It was a very interesting race to watch too, because they came into the stretch for that race, and Luxor Cafe was behind Admire Daytona. Kind of looked like it was going to run right by him, and Admire Daytona would not really let that horse get by. It was a really game stretch battle. They put distance on the rest of those horses. Pretty good performance there. Seems like he's gotten better so far as a 3-year-old.
Now, those who are just watching his last race, Mike, in the UAE Derby might assume that Admire Daytona is some sort of front runner because he was aggressively ridden by Christophe Lemaire that day to secure the lead. I think sometimes you don't want to get caught in the kickback over that Meydan dirt track, and they were very cognizant of that, being so aggressive. But you watch this horse's prior races in Japan, and he's comfortable using any kind of running style, and we'll check out the stretch run of that UAE Derby here, where he did lead every step of the way and was very game to hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Your point about his running style is very well taken. It does tend to play to be forwardly placed over at Meydan, and they used this horse's speed from the inside post. He secured the rail. He took plenty of pressure throughout the running of that race, David. He was very game through the stretch. Another performance where looked like he was going to maybe get beat in mid-stretch, but he just kept digging in. I think that's sort of the calling card for this horse as far as I could tell. He's very game when he gets involved in a fight.
And speaking of his pedigree, Mike, I mean, these are foreign trained runners, both he and Luxor Cafe, but they have very American pedigrees. I mean, he's by Drefong, who stands over in Japan, but we know him as a horse that was very good in the Bob Baffert stable, a Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. And I was doing some digging in this female family, Mike. I mean, he's got strong U.S. influences going all the way back to his second and third generation. This is the female family of the very good runner from the 90s, Sky Beauty. And there have been plenty of good horses, including some top sires that are produced from that line.
Yeah, really quality dam side pedigree here. The Frongs, every time I see him, I just think sprint. But this horse, listen, he stretched out beyond the mile for the first time in that UAE Derby, and he handled it. We'll see if he can get the added distance in Kentucky, obviously against a tougher field as well. But I didn't really want to knock this horse, David. He's a very likable colt.
Yeah, he's going to be a bigger price in this race than the other Japanese counterpart, Luxor Cafe. So maybe Admire Daytona is one that is flying under the radar a little bit for one of these Japanese contenders coming into the Kentucky Derby. Those are our thoughts on this new face at Churchill Downs. Let us know what you think of Admire Daytona. Drop us a comment and let us know if you think this Japanese invader has a chance to pull off an upset on the first Saturday in May.